Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and a very warm welcome to Government House, Yarralumla. Dawa Nuna, Dawa Nunawel. I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land in which we meet, the Nunawel people, and pay my respects to their elders, past and present, emerging leaders, and all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders that may be gathered with us this morning. My name is Paul Singer and I'm the Governor-General's Official Secretary. And as this badge signifies with its cross quills, I'm also Secretary of the Order of Australia, the council which makes recommendations to the Governor-General, who is both the Chancellor and Principal Companion of the Order. But I'm also the Secretary of the Australian Bravery Decorations Council, the body which makes recommendations to the Governor-General for Bravery Awards. Before we start the ceremony this morning, I'd like to acknowledge among our distinguished guests, Major General Catherine Toohey, representing the Chief of Army, Air Marshal Mel Hopfeld, Chief of Air Force, Ms Mary Wiley-Smith, representing the Commissioner of the Australian Public Service Commission, Mr Michael Phelan, Chief Executive Officer of the Australian Transaction Reports and Analysis Centre, and Mrs Patricia Keller, representing the National President of the Order of Australia Association. Welcome all. Notwithstanding the challenges presented by the pandemic, we're delighted to be able to proceed with these investiture ceremonies in a COVID-safe manner. We're grateful for your understanding of and compliance with the measures that we've put in place to ensure that these investitures can proceed. The Australian Honours and Awards system provides a wonderful mechanism through which we as a nation can recognise and celebrate ordinary people who do extraordinary things. Since its inception in 1975, over 400,000 people have been recognised for their meritorious, bravery, military or national service. The Order of Australia is the principal means of recognising outstanding service, and it's important to note that nominations come from all parts of the community. Anyone can nominate. Today is a special day, not only for the recipients, but also for their friends, their families and the communities. Today when we celebrate a diverse range of impressive achievements and service. As staff at Government House, my colleagues and I are privileged to play a small part in the recognition and celebration of that achievement. I hope we can make today an occasion that you'll all recall with pride for a long time to come. Shortly, I'll invite you to stand as Her Excellencies the Governor-General and Mrs Healey enter the room, and then please remain standing for the singing of the Australian National Anthem. The investiture will then begin and proceed in the order listed in your programs. After I read their names and citations, the recipients will enter the room from the doorway on my right, and after they've been invested by the Governor-General, will leave by the central aisle to take up their seats at the back of the room. And at this point, you might like to show your appreciation with a short applause. At the conclusion of the investiture ceremony, the Governor-General will say a few words, and then we'll invite all of the recipients to join with Her Excellencies out on the state entrance for an official photograph. And at this point, I just invite guests to remain briefly in the room while Their Excellencies and the recipients depart, and then you'll be invited into the dining room where refreshments and morning tea will be served, and Their Excellencies and recipients will join you after the photographs have been taken. So ladies and gentlemen, please relax and enjoy this very special occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand for the arrival of Her Excellencies the Governor-General of the Commonwealth of Australia and Mrs Linda Hurley, and for the singing of the Australian National Anthem.
Australians, oh let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated.
A very warm welcome to Government House, Yarralumla, this morning for a very special day in the lives of our recipients of awards this morning, their families, but indeed in our nation, as we recognise significant contribution to the progress of our country, to its people, and to its overall standing. So again, a warm welcome. And I begin by acknowledging that Government House here at Yarralumla stands on the land of the Ngunnawal people. If you're a Canberran, you'll know what a lovely part of the country it is around here. And we do thank the Ngunnawal people for looking after it for us for generation after generation, and pay respects to their elders, past and present. It is a very special occasion. I think you'll have noticed when you came in today, other than the autumn leaves, we've dressed the house really nicely. The gardens are in the best condition they can be at this time of year. People in their sparkling uniforms, everyone's dressed up. That tells you something is on, and it's an important day. And we are going to recognise, as I say today, people who have more often than not put community and others before self. And what a marvellous thing to be able to recognise. But given all that pomp and circumstance, this is an Australian Government House, so you are allowed to relax. You may smile and applaud at the appropriate time. And so the entire idea of today is just to enjoy and recognise the achievements we will hear today. Could I particularly thank the families that are present? I know that each of the recipients would only be here because of their family support. And so this is a special day for you, I know, but especially in another sense, because we're recognising your support as well. So thank you for that. For the youngsters here today, unexpectedly, I'm going to issue some homework at the completion of the formal part of the ceremony and my final wrapping up speech. And my homework will involve who receives awards and how do they receive them. So please pay attention as we go through the ceremony today. Could I make the comment that our award system, which was introduced in 1975 to replace the Imperial Award system, probably has a unique characteristic in systems like this around the globe, in that it's a bottom-up system, in the sense that the people, particularly those from the community who come forward on each ceremony, are being acknowledged by their peers. This is not a system in which the authorities in Canberra reach down into the community and say that someone is doing a good job, we should give them a medal. This is your system. People only receive recognition under the Order of Australia if they are nominated by their peers. That might give you a hint to your homework as well. So as you're watching today, look at the variety, what people have achieved for community, for country, and think about who you might know in that same category back home. Please enjoy the occasion. Celebrate with us what is really a joyous occasion in the life of the country as we celebrate some great Australians. On that note, I'll now commence the formal investiture ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, to be presented with the insignia of her appointment as a member in the General Division of the Order of Australia, Professor Emily Banks, for significant service to medical research and education. Professor Banks has worked tirelessly to improve the health of all Australians. Her extensive research into population health is changing public behaviours and guiding healthcare professionals. Her efforts have had a direct, measurable impact on the health of Australians, far beyond the world of academia. She published one of the most frequently cited papers on breast cancer worldwide, has done exemplary work in the area of tobacco-controlled related research, and is currently heading a review of the Commonwealth on electric cigarettes. Her service to the profession of epidemiology includes roles with leading health organisations, notably as an advisor to the World Health Organisation. Professor Banks is an outstanding leader and a role model for young women in medical research. Professor Emily Banks, appointed a member of the Order. Appointed a member in the General Division, Associate Professor Paul Kraft, for significant service to medicine, to oncology, and to professional organisations. Associate Professor Kraft has worked tirelessly to ensure best practice in cancer provision services in Canberra. He's one of the driving forces behind the Cancer Research Hub at the Canberra Hospital, ensuring that his patients have access to the latest treatments. He's the lead clinician on the Breast Cancer Treatment Group, which is conducting a nationally significant study with over 20 years of data from the treatment of women with breast cancer. He also serves on the board of the ACT Cancer Council. He is a clinical academic who is involved in lecturing, curriculum development, supervision and examination, and has over 40 publications to his credit. Associate Professor Kraft's unwavering professionalism and commitment to medical oncology, physician training and patient care is of the highest order. Associate Professor Paul Kraft, appointed a member of the Order. Appointed a member in the Military Division, Group Captain Philip Edwards, for exceptional service to the Australian Defence Force in the development and delivery of air power education. Group Captain Edwards played a crucial role in the development and delivery of air power education for the Australian Defence Force and international defence community. He was instrumental in implementing several key air power education enterprises for the Air Power Development Centre, while concurrently serving as the Deputy Director Cadets, Air Force. He implemented a number of initiatives designed to enhance the Age of Air Power course and its online interface, which was recognised by the University of New South Wales and incorporated into a master's program. Group Captain Edwards' service represents a unique and extraordinary contribution to the Australian Defence Force's education system. Group Captain Philip Edwards, appointed a member of the Order. Awarded the Medal of the Order in the General Division, Mr. Hashim Abdul Rahman, for service to the multicultural community of the Australian Capital Territory. Mr. Hashim has been a very active member of the ACT multicultural, Malaysian and Muslim communities since the 1970s. He has served in executive roles with a number of organisations, including the Islamic Society of the ACT, the Australian Malaysian Society, the Association of Malaysian Muslim Families ACT, and the Malaysian Students Association. He is currently the inaugural president of the Australian Multicultural Aged and Respite Care Cooperative. He is widely known as a hands-on leader who gives generously of his time in bringing people together. He's also played an important role in organisations related to the Malaysian diaspora. Mr. Hashim is to be commended for his commitment to multiculturalism and integrating new communities into Australia. Mr. Hashim Abdul Rahman, awarded the Medal of the Order. Awarded the Medal of the Order in the General Division, the late Mrs. Azimi Perret, to be accepted by her husband, Mr. Collis Perret, for service to the community health through exercise therapy and aquatic rehabilitation. Mrs. Perret was a trailblazer in the fitness industry and was one of the first training instructors specifically for women in Canberra, commencing classes in 1969. Her skills and abilities were later recognised by the Australian Institute of Sport, and she was engaged to conduct aerobic and equaerobic classes as part of the Institute's public programs. She identified the need for aquatic rehabilitation programs and was soon assisting people recovering from injury. She went on to conduct these classes at the AIS for 12 years, assisting thousands of people. She also became one of the first qualified Pilates instructors to operate at the Australian Institute of Sport. Mrs. Perret was a pioneer in women's fitness and rehabilitation and is most deserving of our recognition. Mr. Collis Perret accepts the award of the Medal of the Order on behalf of his late wife, Mrs. Azimi Perret. We move now to the Conspicuous Service Decorations. Awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross, Col Michael Scott, for outstanding achievement as Director of Current Military Commitments at Military Strategic Commitments Division. Colonel Scott has been critical to effectively integrating the operations of the Australian Defence Force into the wider interagency and whole-of-government effort. During the bushfire national emergency of 2019-20, he identified a capability gap relating to the potential use of reserve forces, and his efforts resulted in the compulsory call-out of over 2,500 reserve members to support communities across Australia. Similarly, he played a leading role in supporting the rapid stand-up of a Defence COVID-19 task force and supporting the deployment of requested Australian Defence Force capabilities. Colonel Scott's ability to successfully influence across multiple government departments and within Defence has been of the highest order. Col Michael Scott, awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross. Awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross, Group Captain Michael Burgess Orton, for outstanding achievement in the development and delivery of joint command and control networks and information technologies for the Australian Defence Force. Group Captain Burgess Orton was the driving force in coordinating and directing the design and delivery of a number of new capabilities with the establishment of the Joint Capabilities Group. He introduced closer alignment with our key partners, especially the United States of America, on the sharing of common operating pictures to enhance key decision-making by operational commanders. He was also the architect of the network used by the Deployable Joint Force Headquarters on Operation APEC Assist in 2018. Group Captain Burgess Orton has displayed superb judgment in the application of Defence's capability development process to deliver the networks and applications necessary to support modern warfare. Group Captain Michael Burgess Orton awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross. Awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross, Wing Commander Janine Fedcheck, for outstanding achievement in the provision of legal services to the Royal Australian Air Force. Wing Commander Fedcheck, in her role as Personnel Branch Legal Officer, provided specialist advice and support that were crucial to Air Force's transition to the legislative changes arising from the First Principles Review. The new legislation introduced numerous administrative complexities, and her extensive understanding of administrative law were key to Air Force's success in implementing these changes. In addition, her work to enable complex and sensitive decisions arising from the Royal Commission into Institutional Child Abuse in 2016 was outstanding. As Headquarters No. 82 Wing Legal Officer, her specialist skill has been heavily relied upon in the management of complex personnel matters. Wing Commander Fedcheck's achievements across the legal gamut have been outstanding. Wing Commander Janine Fedcheck awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross. Awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal, Lieutenant Colonel Renee Kittson, for meritorious devotion to duty deployed as the Commanding Officer of the 5th Engineer Regiment Task Group on Operation Bushfire Assist 2019-2020. Lieutenant Colonel Kittson assumed command of the 5th Engineer Regiment Task Group on the 4th of January 2020 to support the response, relief and recovery efforts due to the severe bushfire events occurring in New South Wales. She quickly prioritised the needs of communities, enabling swift action to support fire-affected areas. This was most evident in the Bega local government area, where she proved to be a highly skilled negotiator, offering thoughtful solutions to immediate community needs. Lieutenant Colonel Kittson set a positive and inclusive culture within her task group and ensured that diverse community groups, including Indigenous and isolated communities, were supported, resulting in a high degree of trust in the Australian Defence Force. Lieutenant Colonel Renee Kittson awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal. Awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal, Major Kieran for meritorious devotion to duty in the development of joint special effects and capabilities within the Australian Defence Force. Major Shaw has been a key driver in operationalising groundbreaking initiatives at multiple levels of command. These initiatives were utilised at Exercise Hamel in 2018 and during Exercise Talisman Sabre in 2019, where the complexity and level of special effects execution was unprecedented within the Australian Defence Force. He is widely recognised as one of the leading subject matter experts in his field and was vital to the support of operational and tactical outcomes at the Joint Task Force level. Major Shaw is a champion of change whose efforts and achievements are most noteworthy. Major Kieran Shaw awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal. Awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal, Wing Commander David Burns, for meritorious achievement in the KC-30A multi-role tanker transport aircraft maintenance reform for the Australian Defence Force and as Senior Engineering Officer at No. 33 Squadron. Wing Commander Burns successfully implemented a targeted project to transition No. 33 Squadron away from 24 hours maintenance coverage without impacting support to operations. His successes were achieved despite high operational tempo, whilst concurrently supporting Operation Okra on the sustainment of coalition air-to-air refuelling. As a result of his technical prowess, the average monthly mission rates for the KC-30A aircraft increased by over 30%. Wing Commander Burns has delivered exceptional achievements through organisational restructures, resulting in improved operational effectiveness. Wing Commander David Burns awarded the Conspicuous Service Medal. We move now to the Meritorious Service Awards. Awarded the Public Service Medal, Dr. Marion Healey, for outstanding public service to the policy and regulatory practice, including in the areas of food, chemicals, and plant biosecurity. Dr. Healey has been at the forefront of the Australian Government's policy which protects us from pests and diseases. She set strategic policy direction, balancing the competing drivers of imports and exports, while maintaining and improving market access for our commodities. She's played an instrumental role in bringing together state and territory governments, plant industries, and the broader community to develop creative solutions to potential threats and to implement prevention, preparedness, and response programs. Dr. Healey's extensive efforts in protecting our national biosecurity are to be applauded. Dr. Marion Healey awarded the Public Service Medal. Awarded the Australian Intelligence Medal, Mr. Warren Gray, for distinguished service to the national intelligence community. Mr. Gray has consistently gone beyond the requirements of his role in support of the national intelligence community throughout his more than 30-year career. He has proven to be an exceptionally experienced operational manager in dynamic intelligence and law enforcement environments. He's demonstrated a commitment to developing innovative new strategies and tradecraft while supporting others to do the same. Mr. Gray has been an outstanding leader and has been dedicated to delivering the best outcomes for Australia's intelligence community. Mr. Warren Gray awarded the Australian Intelligence Medal. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the presentations this morning.
We've recognised each of the recipients individually. I think it'd be appropriate now if we acknowledge them all as a group. Well done and congratulations. Now, I hope you took note of the range of activities for which people were recognised today. We could slightly set aside the military, they're a bit more specific, but in the community, the general area, we've seen from sport to academia, contribution to society that make a profound difference to who we are as Australians. Your homework, you know where the others are. They're in your community, they're in your professional area, they're in your business area. We need you to nominate. This system depends on nominations from peers, from the community, to allow people to be recognised. Could I make another comment on the system? Diversity. The number of women who are being recognised has grown considerably over recent years, but we are still not where we should be. Again, you know who those people are in your community who should be recognised for their work. Please nominate them. Another point on diversity is we are still underrepresented in Indigenous Australians and Australians who come from other cultural backgrounds. Again, we are on an increase in that representation, but we should be able to do better. And we should reflect who we are as Australians, as Australia, in our award system. So please, your homework, find those people, nominate them. And I want to mark your homework as they come through this door in a year or two's time. So that's your task for today. But thank you, again, particularly to families, again, for your support for each of the recipients. I know how important that is. And Lyndon and I look forward now to meeting you all over a cup of tea and to celebrate this very special occasion. So thank you and good morning.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, as the Governor-General has indicated, anyone can nominate a fellow Australian for recognition within the Order of Australia. It's easy to do via accessing the online nomination form available via the Governor-General's website, which is at www.gg.gov.au. As the Governor-General said, we look forward to welcoming those that have been successful in their recognition at an investiture ceremony such as this in the future. I now invite the recipients to join with Her Excellencies out on the state entrance stairs for an official photograph, and then after that photograph, refreshments will be served in the dining room. Would you please stand for the departure of Her Excellencies, the Governor-General and Mrs. Healey, and the recipients.